Hi, everybody. It's Kurt from City Campus, and I'm glad you're with us this morning. During this week, while we're kind of taking a break from physical church, I'm going to try and do a real short little devotion every day. And I thought a little bit today about what it ought to be. I shouldn't be touching my face, right? It's hard to stop. Like everything else we're going to do over the next few weeks, some of those things are hard. Staying away from people, not touching your face, washing your hands so intently. You know, I'm done, but I'm doing all that. So I think you should too. I'm going to do a kind of a short little devotion every day. And I thought about what we should do. And I thought I'd talk about fear this week. And to talk about that, I want to talk about a couple of acronyms that you may know. So let me go ahead and switch to my slides, and then we'll speak to that. So again, we're going to be talking about fear this week, and you know, you probably are experiencing some fear right now. There's some stuff going on that we don't understand. Most of us are addicted to the news the way we were at 9/11. Those of you who remember 9/11. I find it hard sometimes to remember that 9/11 was nearly 19 years ago. So it's just, hard to remember some of that sometimes. So many people that are watching this weren't even born when it happened. And some of you that are watching it were just babies. But we were all addicted to the news in those days. And we were addicted to the news at some other times, and I think a lot of us are now. And we're going out and buying out stores, and we're doing other things. And it's just a product of fear. And I thought that this was a good week to talk about fear a little bit. So there's a couple of acronyms that I'm familiar with on fear. And one of them is probably pretty well known. You've probably heard it before. It's false evidence appearing real. And false evidence appearing real as an acronym is pretty good for this. And we're going to be talking about this as the week goes on, exactly about each one of those. In fact, tomorrow I'll be talking about false. The next day I'll be talking about evidence. The next day I'll be talking about appearing. And then on Friday we'll be talking about real. So you'll be able to watch those each day. And but I'm also going to pair it with another acronym every day. And this is the acronym that I think is probably more applicable to our current situation. And that is faith exposes attacks of a real enemy. And of course, it's a little bit more ground out acronym, kind of doesn't fit as well as false evidence appearing real. But faith, and we're going to be talking about that and comparing that to faith and false tomorrow a little bit. And evidence, of course, and we'll be talking about exposing our evidence, exposing this false evidence, exposing the different things that are part of the attacks of our enemy. And the attacks of our enemy and the appearing, with the fake realness. There is a bit of the attack of our enemy making fear appear to be. And we do have a real enemy, and we do have a real. And we'll be talking about both of those things on Friday. So I want to stop today and just take a second and talk about what I'm going to use for a theme verse for this week. And that's Revelation 1:17. Now, I have it from the New Living Translation, so let me read it. When I saw him, I fell at his feet as if I were dead, but he laid his right hand on me and he said, "Don't be afraid. I'm the first and the last." This is Jesus talking. And in the King James, this says, where it says don't be afraid, it says fear not. And I thought, I'd be cute today, and I'd have that guy from the Scream movies, the guy with a mask. I'd have him fear, and I'd put fear underneath him. And then I'd show a picture of Bart Simpson going like this or something, and with not, because that's Bart Simpson really brought the not into our vocabulary. But we're going to be talking about fear and how not to have fear. And we'll talk about that this week as the week goes on. So I urge you to join me every day. I urge you to read whatever we're covering that day. Take your Bibles out and read along for a minute, and I'll try to keep it under a couple minutes. And so that's it for today. God bless you, and I'll talk to you tomorrow here at City Campus Chat.